This week, a kind of funny thing happened. Kotaku was invited to a Bethesda event for the game Prey. It's a preview event. There's these things are held all the time. Press from all corners of the internet are invited. And people get to come see the game, sometimes play it, talk to the developers, write some stories, usually some kind of embargo. Very standard. The YouTubers go, Games Press goes. Anyways, they were invited and then they were disinvited. Basically, the PR firm screwed up and they should not have invited Kotaku in the first place because Kotaku has been blacklisted by Bethesda. So it's interesting, the reaction to this, of course, just like when Kotaku originally revealed that they were blacklisted, is one often of glee and celebration. A lot of people think, well, screw Kotaku, this is what they get for being jerks, for being SJWs. Well, they had it coming, why would Bethesda want to have those SJW types at their event? Okay, well, this is not why, this isn't why they were blocked by Bethesda. It's not because of their politics or because of the, crummier things that may have been published at Kotaku. The real reason they were blacklisted was because they published some leaked information about Fallout 4 prior to Bethesda actually announcing Fallout 4. Now, this is where a bunch of the controversy comes in. A lot of people say, well, that's what you get for publishing those leaks, Some people think that they broke an NDA. They did not a non-disclosure agreement. This was not about a non-disclosure agreement. They published leaks. Someone came to them with those leaks. They published them. If they hadn't done it, that person would have gone to a different publication. Those leaks were getting published, basically. That's what happens. Once something has leaked, you're done. I mean, it's over. It's leaked. It's out there. Someone's going to publish it. You really can't put the cat back in the bag, as the saying goes. So anyways, Bethesda gets pissed off. They blacklist Kotaku. They don't send them review copies. They don't invite them to events. They don't talk to them. They basically are punishing them for doing what journalists do. Now, you will say, well, this isn't real journalism. They're publishing a leak. They're hurting the company. Okay. We'll get to that in a second. I disagree with that, but we'll get to that in a second. First, I want to address the main thing that people have been saying to me about this. I do support Bethesda's right to blacklist anyone that they want to blacklist. That is absolutely within their rights. They just like, people say I'm being a hypocrite or doing a 180 on the Platonic issue where I said that it was Platonic's right to not have JonTron's voice in the game, which turned out to be a sort of terrible game, but or I just didn't like it. But anyways, it is Platonic's right not to have JonTron in the game, and I said at the time that they were making a business decision, and they thought it was the best business decision. In hindsight, maybe it wasn't the best business decision, but it was certainly their right. And same goes for Bethesda. It is their right to blacklist whoever they want. Maybe they'll blacklist me at some point. Same. I could. I'm always reviewing The Walking Dead, an AMC show, and I think it's gotten really bad, and I say lots of very harsh, critical things about it. I could get blacklisted by AMC for that, and that's within their rights. I think it would be the wrong thing to do, but they could do that. So I don't think it's like something that should be illegal or something that's inherently bad to blacklist somebody for making this decision. However, I think it sets a bad precedent because basically they're punishing Kotaku for doing what that publication is supposed to do, which is report on the news, report things. No newspaper or magazine is going to get a big leaked document about a new movie or a new game or something and not publish that. They're going to run with that. That is what this business is all about. And here's why I think it's important. See, a lot of people say, well, there's no value in these leaks. There's no value in and it just hurts the company and it doesn't provide anything for consumers. But that's bullshit. Okay, let me just stop you right there. That's fucking bullshit. Pardon my French. The reason that I say that is not true is that leaks actually are very much in the consumer's interest. Here's what game publishers do. Video game publishers try to control everything utterly. From the moment the game is conceived to the moment it hits shelves and comes into the consumer's hands. They try to control it completely. What Bethesda's done recently is only start handing out review copies hours before the game is released, which makes it impossible for reviewers or YouTubers who aren't being paid by Bethesda to actually get honest impressions out in time for gamers to see them and read them and watch them or whatever. That's a control issue. Bethesda wants power. They want to control the story, the marketing of their game right up into the hours before launch. Okay? That's not in the consumer's best interest. Let's take a look at something like at Ubisoft and they've gotten become almost a meme about downgrades, graphical downgrades, because what the marketing departments at these publishers do is they show us images from the game early on, bullshots or bullshits, that look gorgeous. You know, we see early footage that's, you know, basically prototype footage. It's very controlled what we're seeing. We see screenshots that are lavishly detailed, probably rendered on a high-end PC in a very lockdown situation, and this is not final, and this is not, you know, in actual gameplay. This is just a screenshot that looks really beautiful. And so then, you know, they control the message, they control the story that this is a, you know, great, amazing, groundbreaking looking game. By the time we actually get the game, you know, there's been changes. That wasn't realistic for the developers to actually put that together. But the publisher wants to control the narrative. They want to have power every step of the way. What does a leak do? A leak conceivably gives us some unvarnished look at what the actual game is. You know, one thing I've done lots of is I've interviewed a number of game developers at these AAA publishers and, you know, the studios that work with them. And when you interview a developer, you're almost always in a very controlled environment. You have PR people on hand. There's a list of things that they know they can and cannot talk about. It's very controlled. Sometimes the interview will stop while they talk amongst themselves to make sure that they can answer a question just so. If you ask for statements via email or something, you know, these are canned responses. You very rarely get to the truth. There's publishers like Valve who almost never even respond to you in the first place. So high are their walls and their defenses. They keep quiet about everything unless they really have to come out with some sort of canned response. You know, I've interviewed actors and whatnot also, and TV and the TV creators and whatnot, and the experience is very different. I've had, you know, interviews where it's just like the actor calls me up on the phone and we have a chat for 30 minutes, like we're hanging out at a bar or something, and they don't have any sort of like, I mean, maybe there's some things they don't want to talk about, but they're pretty open. You know, maybe that's just my experience with TV, but video games are very, very, very controlled industry. The publishers want to have so much control that when there's a leak, you know, and I understand a leak is it sucks for the publisher. Maybe they had a big announcement planned and now they have to adapt, but leaks happen, and it's just extraordinarily petty to punish a publication. Okay, and so here's where people are like, yeah, but I don't have any sympathy for Kotaku. Fine, don't. You can dislike Kotaku, Polygon, whatever game magazine you want to dislike. You can have it out for them. You can hope that they go down in flames. You can never read them, never give them clicks, and still realize that this is a bad thing for Bethesda to do. They're not punishing them because of these things you don't like about them. They're not punishing Kotaku because Kotaku has writers who are SJWs. They're doing it because Kotaku took some control away from them one time. They took control away. They upset Bethesda's marketing narrative, and that sucks for Bethesda, but it's part of how this whole meta game is played. And it's good for consumers. When there's leaks, they're generally good for consumers. I'm not saying that every leak that ever happened was, but most of the time, when there is a large entity, whether it's a big corporation or a big government, and they have lots and lots of secrets, often that they have a lot of power. The power is very asymmetrical between the people, consumers, citizens, and the corporations and government. And anything that can sort of hold their feet to the flame is a good thing, in my opinion. When governments and corporations stop talking to the press, become more secretive. I think it's bad for everyone, including those corporations and governments. I think openness is generally better. If you have less to hide, that's a good sign. You know, that's why I think it's great that certain companies, lots of different game makers will send out review codes really early, give you lots of time to play their game. It shows confidence in their product and respect for not just the reviewers, but their readers, consumers who want to buy the game and want to have, an actual couple of days to read reviews before they go and make up their mind. So this tendency towards more draconian behavior on the part of publishers, more control, more hostility, more secrecy. This is a bad direction for the industry. It's bad for developers. I mean, publishers are not your friend. They often chew up and spit out developers. I mean, publishers are a business, and I think they do some things very well, and they're very necessary in some ways, but they have to be held accountable. And if a leak happens, it happens. They have to find a way to make up for that. That's on them also. And punishing the publication, and it could have been any publication. The Escapist could have gotten that leak and published it, and then they would have been banned, blacklisted, whatever. So, what I've been saying is take your personal feelings about these publications and set them aside. And your personal feelings about Bethesda as well. It's not about the players, it's about their roles. There's the press, and I include YouTube and various other entities in this, and there's those who advocate for consumers, and then there's the supply side, and they're essential to each other. They have an adversarial relationship that is essential for the health of both. People say, oh, well, the publishers support these publications. Yeah, not quite. I mean, yeah, they pay for ads and they send out review copies and stuff, but a publication like Kotaku or Polygon or Forbes or YouTubers, they are all providing a service as well. I mean, we're reviewing their games. We're constantly writing about them and publishing stuff about them. I mean, it's advertising. I mean, it's not like we're shills that are being paid directly to advertise for them, although sometimes that happens, especially on YouTube. But we are basically giving free advertising. I mean, I might write 10 posts about one game, 8 of which I write before I even get a copy of it. Then I play it and write a review and maybe some follow-up stuff. I mean, God, I've written at least that many posts about the new Legend of Zelda. What did I get from Nintendo? 1 copy of the game? That's my support? Like, I'm being supported by Nintendo when I write, a bunch of posts that get tens of thousands of hits, and all these people are reading about their game. Tens of thousands of people are reading about Legend of Zelda for my $60 copy, and I'm somehow being supported by Nintendo? That's crazy. Okay, that doesn't make any sense at all. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say on this. I think that you can hate multiple. You can hate Bethesda. You can hate Kotaku. You can love them all. You can have multiple feelings and also rationally realize that this is bad for the industry. Even if it's Bethesda's right, that doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. And I hope that they change course. All right, thank you for watching. You are all very lovely, and I will see you soon. I won't really see you. You'll see me, I guess, or you'll hear my voice prattling on endlessly into the dark. Peace.